here we are in mid-June, and again, you're just mentioning you're at your ETS gym in Minnesota getting ready for training camp next month. It's entirely possible that in future years, if not maybe even next year, you could already be in some sort of an OTA and training camp right behind it, because the concept of what the offseason workout programs, how they're all laid out, could change. Would you like that? Would you like to basically start up right now and have April and May more to yourself? Adam, would you like that?
I think that it would probably extend my career a little bit, just having the ability to just, focus on my family and training, taking care of my body, kind of having that time basically from the end of the season all the way until July 1st, I think the proposal is right now. Having that time to just truly train, prepare, and then, like I said, spend that time with my family. I think it'd probably extend my career. I'm definitely for it.
So you would be up for reconfiguring the off season to would you think that you'd need to touch base in Carolina at one point between the end of the season and July 1, or you think being left to your own devices, you're fine, writ large?
Oh, more than fine. I think the way it's structured right now, I think there's a little bit of a flaw in the fact that you come back for OTAs, you kind of grind in the off season to kind of prepare for OTAs. You get to OTAs, you grind for 2.5 months or so, whatever it is, and then it's like boom. Now you have like a month and a little over a month, maybe 5-6 weeks, and you're like, well, I just grinded. I'm like ready for camp. Like on last Thursday, our last like OTA practice, mini camp, whatever you want to call it. I was like, man, like I'm feeling great. Like I'm in shape. I'm strong. I'm like ready to go. And then now I have like this month break, and like it's kind of weird, right? Like I just did all that progression. We had this really cool progression that they've kind of implemented where you kind of just ramp up towards the end, and then boom, now I have a break. And then now I come back to training camp. Here's my issue with it. Now you come back to training camp and it's like 0 to 100. It's like I haven't done a practice in a month and a little over a month. And then like, boom, now it's like training camp practice, like 2 practices a day, not 2 practices, but walk through practices, all this stuff. And it's like, oh, there's no ramp up. So I think the way to smartly do it is you ramp it up from July 1st. You kind of slowly ramp up, where you can just kind of work out together, start to get in shape, whatever you got to do, and ramp it up all the way to like actual training camp starting at the end of July. And then now here we go. Let's get ready for the season. And here we go.
Here's a couple of pushbacks, Adam. And again, I'm not saying this in terms of this is what I agree with. This is just what I hear. Okay. One pushback is you're a vet. You're fine with downtime. You can handle your business downtime. There are some other players that don't handle their downtime as well as somebody like yourself and need some form of a structure, not like go work out by yourself between February and July 1st, and that they're going to show up in the same manner that you are a longtime professional would show up. And so there is some structure that is needed. What would you say to that?
I'd say it's pretty simple. Today's day and age, today's NFL, it's so competitive. If you are not getting to the grindstone right away after the season's done, figuring out a plan to become a better player, you're going to get cut. And there's plenty of guys out there that can do your job and can do it at a high level if they take care of themselves and are training hard and taking care of their bodies, their minds. There's so many guys now that do the extra stuff, that have a nutritionist, that have their own guy that's helping train them, that has a body guy that's helping them kind of get back to 100% from the season before and then actually get better. So I think it's just the NFL has gotten so competitive that you can't not work out. Even right now, right? Like when guys come back to OTAs and they're out of shape and they haven't done anything, they're getting cut. Like there was a few guys that aren't on the Panthers anymore that came back. They were out of shape. You could tell they haven't done anything, and they're not there anymore. Like that's just the reality. So I just don't see that an issue. And if it is an issue, like we'll find someone else.
And now the other pushback would be that play is choppy enough in September because the general sense is there's one fewer preseason game. And if we're going to be taking practices in April and May away, or at least May and June away, that with the rules and being able to put in pads and things of that nature, that practice time will be lost, and that will wind up in the pudding when it's time to play for real. What do you say about that, Adam?
I think that's the beauty of progressing right into training camp. You're not taking the month off. You're not taking a break of 5-6 weeks where guys go to Mexico and go do things, whatever, and then you have to come back and play football like instantly. So I think that's easily figured out by the way that you're just progressing right into training camp. You're not losing any practices because you're just doing it, instead of doing it in April and May, you're doing it in July, and you can get just as much done in that time and progress right into training camp, be at full speed right when you start training camp. So I just think it's a great way to get in line with all the other pro sports. I don't think any other, I know there's no other pro sports organization that has off-season workouts. No, they just go to training camp and they get ready and they go. And just like, I being here at ETS over the years, I've trained with baseball guys. We've had hockey, NHL guys where you see what they do in the off-season. They come in here, they work out, then they go do their ice time or they go do their baseball stuff. And then they're getting ready for training camp. They go to training camp and they go right into the season. I just think that that's a smart way to do it. I think you avoid hamstring issues, soft tissue issues by training and a progression, everyone together in the same system from July 1st all the way to that first game.
So last one for you. By the way, I didn't expect to go this deep on this subject matter with you, Adam, but you clearly have an opinion and you're there in your gym. So you're in this portion of the workout calendar for yourself. Are you talking to your fellow players? Are you in the majority? Is your opinion a majority of the players about reconfiguring the offseason?
That's a great question. I don't really know. I haven't really talked to too many people. Honestly, it's probably the most I've talked about it.
How about it? Okay.
And so I don't really know. But again, I just think like logically, I think it makes sense. I've talked to a few people that are on the other side of it, whether it be coaches or people in the building that maybe like at first were like, no, that's my month. Like that's how it's always been. Like that's when they get time off. But my argument to that is like, well, why not just take the month of June off for them? Like your draft's over, you've already got your young, maybe it's year 0 draft picks, whatever, to year 3 guys that have been in there for a quick 2-week mini camp or something. You've had some time with them. Now you coaches, staff, everyone who normally gets that break in July, just take it in June. And then we start the ground running in July.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.